What is up, everybody? Ryan back again with another episode of the ATX Metal Podcast. And to my left, we got my man, Eamon Danzig. Okay, mouth. We had this conversation before we hit record, and here we are. Anyway, Eamon's here. He's got a new album. He's going to tell us about it. He also moved. The show's canceled, but that's okay. We got music now instead of in Halloween. Eamon, where are you from? Where are you at, I should say? And what do you do in the band? And, you know, what's the weather like where you're at today?
Oh, the weather? Jeez. I mean, so I'm in North Houston now. As of right now, I'm kind of in a transitionary phase in life right now, but I just got offered a job up in Denver that I'm going to take, so I'm going to head up that way pretty quickly.
Denver's nice. Nice.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess I just want to start by saying, like, thanks for having me on the show again. I know the last time we spoke, it was to gas up Bat City Black Metal Fest that happened back in 2024, which was an absolute banging success. Thanks to people like you helping us out with that. So yeah, I mean, obviously, like, this grew out of like the Austin scene and rocking with all the really amazing people there for as long as I did, and the other bands I was in, and then like in the early years of doing Orodrim live for sure. I mean, specifically, I mean, there are like way too many people to name like right now off the top of my head, but I can think of like.
It's where you're accepting the award and you just pull out this like scroll. You're like, I'd like to thank my mom, and then you just like,
yeah, for sure. No, but
I think that's real quick. I think that's great that instead of just naming a handful of people, you have too many people, you know, to like say, hey, thanks for, you know, helping however you did.
I always have trouble with it, and the hardest part for me is always like, oh, if I name these people, I'll forget naming these other people,
right?
And then I'll feel terrible about it.
Yeah. Some guy named Steve that ran sound that one time is like, if I didn't get a shot, are you kidding me? It was the best light show ever, best sound. No, I'm kidding, man. We don't know Steve.
Yeah,
there is no Steve.
Yeah, no, that's funny. There's that. Yeah, that's funny. No, but I guess like I've been through. I mean, 2025 has been a tumultuous year for, I think, everybody right now. But
it's been quite the roller coaster.
For sure. But it's been more or less very transformational for me personally in a positive direction for sure, because basically producing this album, Thanatocracy, the new Orodrim album, more or less like kept me alive and kept me going. Because like I mean, like, so not to get like too personal about it, but like I was in like a really dark place in my life toward the end of December this past year, and like not even hyperbole, like almost didn't make it. I was going through some serious shit mentally and health wise and shit. So, but I am tremendously better now. 10 months sober at this point.
Wait, hold on. I think. No, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, dude. I haven't used. God, my camera's all out of focus. I haven't used. Camera, come back. Come back to me. Oh, my God. There we go. Focus. Okay. Let me come up here. Yeah, I haven't used my laugh track or my sample pad in forever, so I forgot where everything was.
I'm glad.
That was chaos for a minute there. I was like the intro, the air horn, laughies. I mean, my apologies. I should run a more professional show.
What
is wrong? Oh, dude, this is going to absolutely kill me if I can't.
Yeah, you're having trouble getting that camera in focus there.
I'm gonna have a little conversation with it real quick. Hey, man, I'm sorry, man.
Dude, I'm a storm cloud of technical difficulties.
There it is.
I'm telling you.
Now, I walk away from it, and it's better. I get back. Anyway, so.
I mean, just shoot it.
Our apologies. My apologies, everybody. If we don't have. Okay, so real quick. I don't want to take away from that. So I apologize for that. I want to
No, you're
make sure
fine.
that I'm here. Make sure I'm here to hear this because everybody's dealing with something at all times, right? Like I went to therapy recently to try and be a better dad for my daughter, just trying to help her with
Yeah.
schoolwork. I was like, I'm trying everything that I know how to do. Maybe I should go to a professional and see if there's something that I'm missing. Sure enough, literally just talking it out, I come to the conclusion that all my life in my jobs, I've had a flow chart on how to fix things because as a mechanic, engineers build the thing and figure the things out. And anyway, long story short, I don't have a flow chart on how to help my daughter. I just have to let it happen. And the fact that I've internalized that and I'm like, God, that's totally right. So being able to get the help that you need when you need it, I'm happy for you, clean and sober, getting out of that mental space, that physical space. That's
Yeah, and I was in so deep and circling the drain so hard that I basically had to just get myself out of that context. So I
that's
moved
good, man.
closer with I moved to where my family was here in North Houston. So to like, get myself back in order. But I'm doing tremendously better now.
That's
So
great. That's really good to hear, brother.
yeah, I'm glad. I mean, that going into that, I mean, with Thanatocracy, like that this whole album was basically like the culmination of the riffs I've been putting together for like the past couple years, while the old Orodrim stuff had already been written and recorded. I slept on it for a while, like I procrastinated, like fuck, and it was just. But honestly, I originally recorded it in a different tuning and like under different circumstances, but I have actually since the old recordings gained more skills and like a little more depth in like how to like engineer sound the way I want it to sound in terms of using DAWs and like mixing software and stuff like that. So if you don't know much about my production process, basically I record everything at home like with like a basic, setup in my music room that like I just I put an initial investment into like the equipment that I needed in terms of like an audio interface and headphones and microphones and stuff like that. And yeah. And I
I'm
use Reaper. I
Hey,
use
it's
Reaper.
free. Why
I
not?
mean, yeah, and then like yeah, so I record and mix everything myself because like I was just like, look, I have all this shit that's banging around in my head that I think sounds fucking great, and like I wish other people could hear it. And I didn't have the money or like the connections to go the avenue of like, hitting up a record producer and being like, hey, guy off the street has some good ideas. Want to hear them? Like,
You're like the old in New York City, the watch guy opens up instead of like watches, you got like
it's
riffs.
like
You're like, I
it's like
got these,
yeah, it's like
these
black metal
riffs.
cassette tapes. Yeah, like
Hey man, I got these tapes right here, guy. Never been heard before from the depths of the darkest hell. And you're like, how much for two? Right? Do I get a bulk discount here? Man, that holy cow! Sorry, I have that image of a guy selling black metal tapes in an overcoat now.
yeah, it's
I can't
fantastic.
get that out of my head.
He's got like a rubber pointy nose on and like
Like the top hat, not the top hat, but the kind of detective kind of hat.
yeah.
Whatever they wore in the 50s in New York.
Yeah. So yeah, Thanatocracy was I mean like all of my songwriting up until this point has had like a political bent to it in the sense of like well, it's weird because like especially in this genre and you have no idea how like prominent it actually is dealing with these people. Like I posted a request to find musicians up in Denver for when I moved there. And there were a bunch of these like trolls who got on there and we explicitly stated that we were anti-fascist, right? I had these trolls get on there and be like, lol, like all this shit is like cool. I don't care. But like, it's just like it's like living in idiocracy with these people because like you have to like draw a hard line in the sand on that in this genre, unfortunately. Because like the thing is like you play a show someplace and like you have one of these NSBN Nazi black metal fuckheads there, and then if they're allowed to be there, then their friends will see that they're there, and they'll start coming too, and then suddenly, before you realize it, oh shit, this is a Nazi black metal scene.
Yeah.
And
You're
when
like,
you try to, yeah,
not
and
gonna, nope.
then when you try to expel them, they become a fucking problem. You know what I mean? Like, so, like,
Yeah.
that's why I'm like, dude, zero tolerance for that shit.
You can't, because it, like you said, if you allow one, then you allow some. And then when you
Yeah,
allow some, then,
yeah,
gets a little fishy.
yeah, and it's actually like a lot more pernicious being like an actual facet of the black metal subgenre, because like you'd have some guy wearing like a Pest Noir or like a Horna patch or some shit like that, and like nobody's gonna know that that's like a white supremacist symbol because that's what they represent.
I
It,
think, I
it
think,
just it just looks like a fucking fan patch or some shit. But then like
yeah,
the people who are in the know will see it, and then they'll be like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? Like,
I think you walked me through this last time, like, because if forgive me for my ignorance, but isn't black metal the style in which you play it, or yeah, play is relatively new, like not 90s,
yeah, early
80s,
'90s
early not okay, yeah, I remember that,
was like this. That was like the second wave of black metal in Norway, which was like Norwegian black metal, which was like the
right, okay,
revolutionary genre, where like they burned
gotcha.
churches down and shit.
Yes, I remember we had that. So if you're curious, you can just go to any of the platforms where you subscribe to podcasts, and you can hear the original conversation with this young man right here and totally understand what we're talking about, and then come back to this one and finish this one out.
Young man, I have more gray hair in my beard than you
Dude, look, look at this. I got a couple guys here. Like, they're hanging out. They're hanging out. But
do.
I know, ripe old age of 42, but I feel good. I'm in a good space, even though, like you said, the world's a little shaky right now. A lot of uneasiness, a lot of
Well, that's kind of what I wanted to go
vitriol.
back to before we went down a black metal Nazi tangent hole.
Turn the bus around. Right?
But anyway, yeah. So I did sleep on putting this album out for a while, but honestly, like I re-recorded everything. I started from scratch. I just ditched the original, and I tuned my guitar down to. I started using baritone tuning, which is like 5 whole steps below like normal tuning. So it's like super low. And yeah, I re-recorded everything in that tuning and like with new vocals and like new kind of mixing tricks and stuff. And then
And you're doing it
put that.
all, right? It's all you?
Yeah.
One man band.
Yep. I mean, as of right now, I mean, like obviously, like I have performers who, if they dig the music and they can play it if they want to. Like I have, that's how it was live, like. But yeah, I'm the primary songwriter of everything. But in this case, the album is, I think, probably like my like not that the other Orodrim music isn't, but this is like the most politically forward album of all of them that I've done so far. And I think honestly, it's coming out right at the right moment in history. It's like,
Yeah.
because I mean, for example, like Greg Stoker, who's an Austinite who was on the flotilla. He's like a former Army Ranger guy, and like he's a metalhead in the scene here. Like
Because I was paying attention to that. I mean, hell, it was on
yeah,
NPR. They were talking about him, how
yeah,
okay. So for those that have, I know there's a lot coming at you right now. And by the time you see this will have been a week ago. A week ago problem, which in normal news cycle times, something that happened a week ago, this serious, would still be in your face ad nauseum. But we are in the everything is thrown at the wall category now. So you got to sift through everything. And so basically, what he's talking about is there's a flotilla, which is a shit ton of civilian boats going to try and break the blockade through into Gaza to help with humanitarian relief. There's lawyers, there's doctors, there's I mean, hell, a local Austinite that is on the boat. They were live streaming it. The Israeli, the IDF jumped on boats and basically were like, "You gotta go." It's something to just. It's a lot to take in. Is a lot to
yeah.
take
They
in.
just they didn't. bring any of the baby formula they had with them to a single person.
Yeah,
It was
it's like you can't, man. It's one of those things where,
here's how absurd this is, Brian. Because I
yeah,
mean, like
go ahead.
I've been getting shit for like being critical of that for a very long time. But it's literally I'm just reaching my hand out with some food in it to put it in a starving baby's mouth, and it's being slapped out of my hand, and I'm told, "I you hate Jews," you know. Like,
Yeah,
does that make any sense at all?
no, no,
Like,
it's, I don't understand how just helping humans, that's it, just
it's
helping
a war crime, plain and simple. And like, anybody like with a brain and like eyes can see that. It's like Orwell even said, like in 1984, it's like they denied the images right before your eyes that you were looking at.
Yeah, and now Sam Altman just released what was it, Sona, the
Mm-hmm.
AI video generator, where you literally
Yeah.
like, now the whole adage of seeing is believing is
Mm-hmm.
fucking gone. Like, that's, I mean, trust but verify. There's so many things now that technology has created, that we have created, that very, very much so blur those lines of, is
Yeah.
this real? But I can tell you right now, we're real. You can touch my face. You can
Yeah.
see me at a show. You can buy his merch, right? You can listen to his music. But yeah, it's wild, dude. It's
Well,
wild.
yeah, I think like with this particular album too, like I didn't see enough bands, and I love music bands from all sorts of like different genres, and like especially in this genre, there's a lot of great ones, and even in Austin too, that like aren't necessarily like politics forward, but I felt that like this type of music that's so passionate and so like viscerally, powerful should be used for something like that. Um, so that's why I have that message, and like basically it's just like, and I posted this on Facebook and Instagram the other day, but it's just like it's not a weird idea to like believe that we should live in a society where everybody has like a relatively long healthy life, happiness and good things, and like we shouldn't have to fuck with each other unless somebody's being fucked with, like it's just leave
Yeah.
each other alone and like have a diverse community where we share ideas and stuff. Like that's not a fucking weird idea. It's a weird
No.
idea that like 3/4 of humanity has to slave away to make the other quarter richer than the rest of us combined and make all the decisions for us.
Yeah.
Like that's what's fucked up. That's weird. And like people get caught up on words, like it's like, oh, is it socialism called communism or communism called capitalism or capitalism called? It's just stop focusing on that.
Yeah.
Like just like if you're afraid to call it something, just call it being a good human being to other people. You know, and like it's sad that we live in a world where like you have to scream about that to get your point across. But that's what I'm doing. You know, like
Well,
and
I and I'm here to help get the message out, because I have always been a firm believer of just, altruism and good karma. If you continuously do good things just to do good things, not because you're looking for clickbait or you're looking
mm,
for that affirmation from, that's one of the things that I really hate, is that about social media is that there's this affirmation aspect that one has to shout into the void to get a couple clicks and this and that and the other. I mean, they've got
mm,
studies on it where it's like ruined, kids' psyche about just the, how social media and real world life scenarios, don't really
yeah,
play out the same way. And it's just, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say outside of just,
I
it's
think
not hard to be a good human. Like, it's
yeah,
not. It
yeah. If
costs you
you
$0.
also it benefits you, right? Actually, like it's really so
Mm-hmm.
it's an idea old as time. Like you pay into the community and the community pays you back, right? Like so it's like even Plato. If you read Plato, his book The Republic, like the whole first dialogue of that book is like him talking to this guy named Thrasymachus, who's like basically might is right, right? Like you get justice is, you beating it into your opponent. That's what justice is. And Plato is like, okay, so what if you had, and Socrates in the work, he's like, okay, well, what if you're like a king and like you make all these decisions for everybody else, and don't listen to anybody else, and don't take anybody else's opinion seriously or needs seriously, and you make mistakes and make bad decisions that not only negatively affect the people that serve under you, who are liable to rise up against you, but also like your decisions without anybody else's input can hurt yourself too. So like it's actually better of leadership to consider the needs of their constituents. That's so like that in that idea that he challenged the idea of like might makes right. So it's like sometimes maybe he couldn't beat you up, but he has better ideas than you. But anyway, yeah, I actually have a background in philosophy and anthropology is what my degree was in.
You sound pretty oh god, here goes this camera. Fuck camera, I'm telling you. Every time. Anyway, I was gonna say you sound pretty well versed in all that.
I do a lot of reading.
I read the books. Okay, camera, I'm gonna fight you. Here it goes. There we go. All right, we're back. If I didn't have technical difficulties, this would not be the ATX Metal Podcast. Period.
No, I actually did have somebody ask me one time while I was reading a book, "What are you reading for?" I was like, anyway.
Because there's words in this book that when put together tell me something that I want to know. It's called reading. It's called learning. It's called education.
READABO. Okay.
Hey, LeVar, isn't he coming back? Aren't they bringing the Reading Rainbow back?
I feel like that's a treat. They are. I think isn't it a different host now? I don't think it's going to be LeVar Burton.
No, but if they brought him back, whoo, son. But
I mean, even I would watch it if he was back.
I'll look it up later. I'm pretty sure
I would even watch that.
So we got the new album out. It's not from the ashes of some previously written stuff. It's just new material. Am I getting that right? Okay, so old stuff out, new stuff in, and we're trying to get the message across that in political environment that we currently live in, not just political, but the world that we live in is not a good place. Is that what I'm picking up? Am I putting that down right?
Not great. No.
Okay. Sorry. Let me back that up. Tell you what, I'll let you, the guy that wrote it, tell me, the guy that knows nothing about it. How about that?
Well, I think really what I want to do is like try to focus on the idea of class consciousness, right? So it's like you have there's this Overton window in the media of like left and right, but it's a very small window, and anything outside of that is just like not admissible, right? But like we actually have a lot more in common with each other than we don't, and I think a large part of like what got me like interested in human rights and like equality and all that stuff in the beginning was just like meeting people who were different from me, who you grow up in a church in the South, and it's like anybody who's not like you is like Satanist and the devil, and
hitting those churches.
And
I'm from the South.
Yeah, and then like just to me, I grew up and like for example, like being gay was like an abomination, basically.
Yep. I was taught
like,
that
you were less than human, And then I started meeting queer people, and being like, actually, you're like not bad. You're like actually like a cool person, And it's like once you get over, I think at this point it's like you start realizing, like after you start meeting these different people, that the church is like obsessed with sex for some reason. So, because like, and that's why they like want to know what everybody's up to in their bedrooms.
Tell me your cycle, young lady. I need to know when you're
like when you're. It's really these people that are perverts, not like. Like why do you have
one of the mega church founders from Texas?
The Trump's previous like spiritual advisor. Why doesn't that strike me as like surprising?
It boggles my mind.
Trump's a pedophile. Just gotta say that Trump's a pedophile.
The people in the sphere that dude operates, the trouble that they get in, even just the accusations are just
Hmm.
Normal politics is no longer a thing. I mean, it's the landscape has changed so much, and like I said, this guy gets busted for being a sexual predator as a church leader, as an evangelical, just like, and he's doing 4 years, doing
Hmm.
4 years, 4 fucking years.
Yeah.
God,
So if you're unfamiliar with, there's this guy named Guy Debord who was a French Parisian, and he wrote a book called The Society of the Spectacle. And basically, I think that it's really relevant to today, some of his thoughts, because like modern capitalism like has created like sort of a more or less homeostatic society in terms of like fulfilling all of our material needs, right? Like most people don't starve these days. Most people in America, all that stuff.
most
So we go on to basically create this system beyond that where it's like we're obsessed with images, right? Like we don't buy things because we necessarily need them, but because it paints a certain picture of us in society of the kind of person we are, right? So like, you know, a lot of politicians now, like they don't even run on, like nobody actually even really listens to or reads all of their actual policy ideas, right?
correct.
They just go with, oh, this guy paints a certain image of the country I want, you know? And so who better to create a bigger spectacle for these people than somebody who was in WWE and on The Apprentice and
Yeah,
you know, so it's really like we've lost as a society like the ability to critically think about the images that are portrayed to us, and I think that that's like I always say too is like I took debate in high school, which was fun, but like I think they should replace that with logic for kids because like that's like a much better way of like understand because like debate is just teaching you how to argue well, right?
yeah.
It's not really actually teaching you how to like, which there's a word for that in Plato's works called sophism. They're called sophists. They were basically paid to like craft these insane arguments that made them sound right. So yeah,
I didn't
it's
know
pretty
that.
interesting stuff. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of that exists today. Like I mean, I don't want to say the CK name, um,
Oh,
for fear of wrath. But he was a
yes,
sophist. Basically, he would have been like one of Plato's sophists when he was.
a soapist. Is that why they call it a soapbox?
No, it's Soph, Sophist.
See, if I could have read that, I'd been like, oh, okay, that makes more sense. Sophist. Okay, interesting. Not a
Um,
soap. Okay, got it.
yeah, I guess I'm kind of going on all sorts of tangents and stuff here, but
That's okay. It's like me having a conversation with my wife. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you know what? I don't even know. Let's just start over.
I mean, this is just a glimpse of the inside of the mind that created this shit. So, but yeah, I mean, I think. Oh yeah, and going back to like Greg too. Part of the reason I went ahead and like released it was because like it was like a couple days before they got abducted. I hit him up and I was like, "Hey man, you're like a huge inspiration to me, and I want you to know like I'm thinking about you." And then he was like, "This, oh man, I love, thank you so much and all that." And then I asked him if he wanted an advanced copy of the album. He's like, "Hell yeah, man!" So like, I gave it to him, and I'd like to think that he was like jamming it, like sailing into Gaza.
Let's see. I'm trying to look it up right now. Greg Stoker. That's his name.
Yeah. Oh, that dude's a righteous guy. He really knows his shit, and he cuts through a lot of bullshit too. So like, he does a lot of really good reporting in terms of that and like the military-industrial complex and all that stuff.
Yeah, so it said, so Greg Stoker, who's a part of the global Samud flotilla attempting to deliver humanitarian aid to Gaza in October 2025. The musicians' involvement was a larger part, coordinated effort on demand to safe passage for the activists on board. And then it breaks down. So he's an Austin native and former U.S. Army Ranger. Greg Stoker joined a veterans delegation on one of the flotilla ships. Man, there's a whole thing here. Open letter. Austin musicians were among the nearly 100 signatures on the open letter to the call for the protection of Stoker and the other flotilla participants. Wow, man, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
he's
I'll have to put a
he's a
link. I'll put a
metalhead in the
link to
scene.
this. I'll put a
He's a
link. I
metalhead
didn't
in
even.
the scene.
That's crazy. Look at
Yeah,
that, Austin. We're out. We're doing stuff. I mean, good for us.
Yeah. But yeah, I really hope that that entire group of people is okay. I I need to think of what they're probably having to go through right now. But yeah, I mean, I guess one thing I do want to pose as a question to anybody who is listening is that, you know, even in spite of the ICC and the UN all openly declaring that there is a genocide happening, like this entire direct action, this act of civil disobedience of the flotilla, like, is so powerful because it suddenly makes people have to ask the question, like, even in spite of all that information from those people, like, they, claim, the Israeli media claim that, like, this hotel is part of, the H word. If that's so, then why aren't they letting them in to, like, record themselves giving humanitarian aid and food and baby formula to these people to
Yeah.
show that, like, Israel is not trying to starve them, you know? Because that's what their whole thing right now is that no, we're not, you know, like,
Yeah. Just like let let them through. Like they're
just let
live
them
streaming.
through, yeah, like, just let them keep babies alive, it's just because, and that's why you're seeing all this, like, pushback from the entire world right now, just from that one action, because it was just like it posed so powerful a question in the space of this gigantic lie, you know, and it's like, yeah. Anyway, it's a crazy, like, everything going on is, like, crazy, but it's just like also at the same time you have these, like, powerful moments where of, like, tremendous human behavior, like, just sheer bravery in the face of evil, and, like, it's like Aragorn going up to the black gates of Mordor and being like, "Not this day," right? It's like that's what it feels like watching that happen.
I switched from guy in trench coat with black metal tapes to that image now. Now I can't get that one out of my head.
Mm,
Not today.
yeah.
Oh, man. So hey, so what in your opinion on the album, what would have been the song that Greg should have wrote into?
Oh. Oh shit. Probably Perdition's Gaping Maw, the last track.
The last track? Okay.
Yeah.
What and why? I'm curious.
Well, because so, like, I wrote that song to transition from a more, like, DSBM, like, really sad feel, like, kind of like drony feel, into something triumphant. And, like, it has that moment in between, like, the really sad, sorrowful part in the beginning, which is like the first half of the song. And then you have that, like, pretty instrumental in the middle with, like, George Orwell talking over it. He does
Okay.
that famous speech, um, of, like, don't let it happen. It depends on you. And then, like, the drums and the tremolo kick can come in, like, super heavy,
So
and
I'm
it's
a
like it's very triumphant after that. It's like, no, like, there is an answer. We're gonna fucking fight, and, like, yeah.
so like
Anyway.
I'm gonna read the first four lines off of this prodigious gaping mouth work. Jesus, here we go. Alone within a world of wounds, to watch the way we've built this tomb, relentless death, our prophets of madness, crushing bodies in the jaws of sadness. Whoo, man, that's just that's pretty powerful right there.
Isn't that a good metaphor? Like, I thought of that and I was like, man, I need a therapist.
Rivers of blood streaming down, flowing from ones who bear crowns. Our lives are but a pawn in their game. Expendable humanity became. Man,
No,
that's good.
not bad. Not bad.
That's good. I like it. Man. So are all the lyrics available somewhere where people
Yeah, I mean,
can
the
dig into
Bandcamp.
them?
Well, right now, like, I did upload the lyrics through DistroKid. You should probably be able to Google them soonish.
Okay.
But, like, if all the lyrics are on Bandcamp, that come with a digital copy on Bandcamp.
Okay. Okay. And they're still are they I haven't perused Bandcamp in a while, but they're still in. I think I saw your post on Bandcamp Friday, right? They still do that.
Yeah, Bandcamp Friday. I actually specifically chose not to release it on Spotify, like, as a sort of statement, because, like, I don't like their business model in terms of being very like forward with like AI curation and like operation, and also because they pay artists absolute crumbs compared
Yeah,
to
it's
like
like
the amount of cash that they rake in. Yeah, dude,
point
I've had
zero
over
zero
80,
three.
I've had over 81,000 streams on my music so far, and I've gotten like $15 from Spotify. So um, I actually have been encouraging people if they want to use a streaming service to use Tidal, Tidal.
Yeah,
It's
I've heard
actually
they
like
pay better or best.
much better than
Yeah.
Spotify per stream. I don't think they do podcasts yet, or like, but yeah, it actually has better sound quality too. So like you're getting better, you're paying for better sound quality also.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Spotify
Is that the
sucks.
one Jay-Z? Is that the one Jay?
Maybe, I don't know.
Sounds familiar.
I've been using it and I like it.
Are
But
you?
like I always,
User
like, I mean, I always
experience.
encourage people. I mean, you can see with my record wall here, but like I always
Oh, that's
try
cool.
to, and I always encourage people that like if you're more than just a casual listener for a band, you should be buying their merch in physical copies
100%.
if you can
100%.
afford them. If you can afford it, doesn't mean you have to buy everybody's, but the bands you listen to the most and you want to support them, like you should buy their stuff because that's how people are going to get by these days. You know.
I definitely that was one of the very first questions that I've asked. And if anybody listening has been here for a long time, I've always said it when it finally hit. And it's like, how do you support bands the most? And the answer overwhelmingly is buy their merch. That's just the easiest way. I mean, from shirts like this to hats to, I mean, physical CD. Dude, I've been on a tear. I'm gobbling up all the vinyls that I see when they come through, and they're pretty fairly priced, 30, 35, $40.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, the collection grows every time, but I'm in this drumhead phase where I've got like snares and toms and kick drums all signed or just something kind of one off. Like you'll never have
Yeah.
another piece of this again. So it's like, well, I want to support $50, $40, whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I did spend a lot of money in September on merch, so I need to tone it down a little bit.
I would say too. It's like actually have like a two-way rule for whenever I'm you get excited when you're out in public and like you see somebody else with like a black metal shirt on, and you're like, oh yeah. But like I have a two-way gauge on that, because like if it's like a big band shirt, like it's like a Metallica, I'm like, oh whatever. But
Yeah.
like, but if it's like a Throat Piss shirt or like an Austin band shirt, I'm just
Dude,
like,
hell yeah.
oh, okay. Not only are you a metalhead, but you support local metal. That's
That's
important.
it. I mean, it says it right here on the wristband. I give these away, but it's a constant reminder. Just support local music. It's not,
Mm-hmm.
it's just the culture that a city creates, or the culture that a city has is, the music industry. And Austin
Mm-hmm.
claims to be the live music capital of the world. There's some contenders out there, but there are a lot of talented people here that have
Mm-hmm.
come through here that have stopped in for a few years and then moved somewhere else. And but I mean, every little bit helps, and being able to be a
I
part of
mean,
it is
honestly,
it's cool.
I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for everybody I met and played with in the Austin scene while I was really there and doing things. Doing that gave me the confidence I have now as a songwriter. Because, if I can make Orodrim like nominally successful in the few years I was performing it in Austin, then I know that I can make it successful pretty much anywhere. I mean, if I could create enough of like a culture around the music and art that I'm producing, like to organize something like Bat City Black Metal Fest back in 2024, then I've got what it takes to take it anywhere. So
There you go.
I couldn't be more grateful. I just want to say specifically shout out to Bobby Kleeman from Hell Fury because I'm wearing their shirt right now.
There you go.
But she was like, I was a lead guitar player in a band called Io de Puta, which is like a sort of like Mexican thrash metal band many years ago. And we played with Hell Fury. We opened for them at Mohawk one time. And she was like the first person in that scene to really kind of reach out to me and be like, hey man, the stuff you make is cool, and like befriend me and stuff. And like I was at the time, I was like, dude, I feel like I'm like not even. And she was like, shut up, you're fucking red. No, she was a big inspiration for me to like kind of get this project up off the ground. One of many inspirations, but I just wanted to point her out because I know she's probably going through a lot right now herself.
Cool,
Um,
man.
but yeah, I guess what kind of time we got right now?
I got about 4 minutes left.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I think I've kind of given my spiel and explanation of what's been going on with me and the new album and stuff pretty succinctly. But is there anything else you would like to ask me, or you think the fans would want to know?
I just wanted to ask two questions. One, what was your favorite? Even though the album is about, like you said, the class system and there's like injustices, but what was your favorite song to write or play? I mean, I know that since you're doing it all, I mean, there may be this song I like the guitars, this song I like the drums, but what was your favorite one to write? And then we'll finish up with all the ats where people can help support you the most. Obviously, all the links will be in the comments, but just all the social media stuff so they can stay up to date with you.
Yeah, I think probably. I mean, the reason I made Bodies Upon the Gears the first track was because I think it's really the most hard hitting, like, and best example of like what I'm actually capable as a guitar player. I think, yeah, when I finished writing that song, I was like, what have I done? this this is
It
a fucking
it's
monster.
it's like 15 minutes long. I'll be honest with you. Like I said earlier on, I a
Yeah, it is
couple
only 15
friends.
minutes long.
It's because like yeah, that song's like 15, the next one's like 8 or 9, and then the third one's like 2 minutes. It's just like whoop, shifting gears. But yeah, I remember I was on the way home yesterday, and I started playing the album, and by the time I got home, I was like, is this song over? And I look, and it still had like 4 minutes to go. I was like, holy crap. So I sat in the driveway just listening to the rest of it, because it's just, you can't get out. I mean, I've already invested that much time, right? I want to hear the crescendo. I want to hear the end. So it's definitely it is a wild song. And who's the sample in there?
Oh, you mean the Bodies Upon the Gears speech thing in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a guy named Mario Savio. It was a speech he gave at Berkeley back in the '60s during the civil rights.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But yeah, I mean, also the intentionality of like the long songs is that like this isn't the type of music you just like listen to casually on the radio. Like I like it's a story that you're trying to understand. Like it's a process. Like so, like you want to sit down and like actually take time to like listen to it. Anyway,
No, I mean
I wanted to encourage people to, like set aside space to like imbibe it.
yeah, I've asked, I've had other people that'll specifically say, "Hey Ryan, I want you to listen to this with like in ears, not over ears, or I want you to listen to this in the car or with a surround sound, or you know what I mean?" They've told me how to consume it, but no one's ever really, kind of like how you said, like, "Hey dude, you're going to have to make time for this and like really, literally sit down with it." And that's cool. That's cool. So I'll redo that and put it on the speakers here, one day while I'm here just chilling and just kind of like let it soak in.
Cool, man.
But
I don't know if we ran over at all.
yeah, all we need are the final shout outs and the ets where people can support you and people that you want to recognize, kind of like Bobby or anybody else.
Oh, shoot, I have this problem like I told you before. I feel bad.
Yeah, hold on, let me get the scroll out. Right. All right, so we'll just stick with the socials then.
No, I mean specifically, I think Hera from Parasiticide and Mason and Garrett and fucking G and Kieran from Bondbreaker and Thad and all those guys and all the people from Throat Piss for being friends with me. All sorts of great people, man. Like, I'm sorry if I forgot anybody off the top of my head, but
it's all good.
Yeah, I had a great time playing with everybody there when I was there.
So what's the I know that the album is already out, but is there anything else to look forward to?
Yes. The physical releases will be ready for sale as well soon.
Perfect. And where can people pick those up at?
So it's through the label Fiat Productions, which is FIADH Productions out of New York. They operate on Bandcamp, so you just go to their page on Bandcamp, and they will have cassettes and CDs that you can buy whenever I know they're ready. I'll let everybody know, but it should be soon.
I'll have a link to in the show to where they can just go straight to it.
Yeah,
we'll make it easy for you.
Also, check out. I also want to pitch Dia Productions because like they're great. They're woman-owned and run label. It's like doom, dungeon synth, and black metal, and a lot of their proceeds will go to an animal sanctuary. Actually, so
hey, we love the animals here at the podcast.
Yeah, for sure. But they
Speaking of
also have
animals,
some great bands. They have some great bands on their label too. Sorry, just me.
Like, there's other cool people. I promise. It's a great label. Don't worry about it. But all right, man. Well, dude, I greatly appreciate your time. I'm glad that you are in a better space physically and mentally. I'm glad that your
Thanks, man.
album has been released a little bit earlier to kind of help, bring attention to the times that we're in. And, it's not hard to be, like I said, we talked about earlier, it's not hard to be a good human, and it's not hard to want things for other people that, make sense.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of shitty people out there in the world. A lot of shitty people.
Don't be one of them.
Don't be one of them.
Be good at it.
All right?
Be good at it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There we go. That'll be the headline. Be good or be good at it with Eamon. Perfect. I love it. Way to end it, dude. All right. I'm going to just hit stop. It'll finish doing its thing. So just hang around. Everybody else, thank you for joining us here for another episode of the ATX Metal Podcast. You can go get all of his stuff on Bandcamp. We will have all the links in the description. Again, thanks for supporting local music wherever we are, wherever you are. All right. Cool deal. See y'all later.